Good morning, students. Welcome back to the online classes. As I've told earlier, today we would discuss the second chapter of our NCERT textbook, which is electrostatic potential and capacitance. Under this chapter, the first topic that I would like to discuss today pertains to potential difference between 2 points. That is a very important concept. So we will first discuss about this. Suppose there be some charge configuration. These charges, we know they will produce some electric field in the region around them. Now we have 2 points A and B. We wish to know what the potential difference between these 2 points mean and how would we calculate that. It has a definition given like so, that potential difference between 2 points, say A and B or 1 and 2 or P and Q, is defined as negative of the work done by electrostatic forces in bringing unit positive charge from A to B. Suppose you hold some charge Q here. Now if you take some charge at this point, say, at this point suppose electric field is in this direction. It can be in any direction depending upon the configuration. Just to hold it in its place, you will have to exert some force, because if you don't apply any force, the charge will move in the direction of electric field. So on this charge there will be some force. That force will be how much? We will write it as F electrical force. And how much will be that F electrical? That will be Q times E vector. If you wish to hold that charge in its position, you will have to apply exactly equal amount of force but in opposite direction. The force that you would apply, I'll call it as F external. And how much will be F external? It will be having same value but opposite direction. So I can write it is negative of electrical force. So this is electrostatic force on the charged particle, and this is the external force which you have to apply to keep this charged particle at rest. And that charged particle has some value of charge that we take as Q. Now suppose it is brought from point A to B, like so. Because you are applying some force, you have to do some work. Because electric field applies some force on the charged particle, it also does work. How much work is done by you or the electrical force? That we are writing it as W electrical and W external. And if you see carefully, I can write both of them should have same value, because we don't have to accelerate the charge. It has to be brought very slowly. At all instants, these two forces must be in opposite direction and have same magnitude. Since they have opposite directions, I must put negative sign over here, so that we have the external work, whatever work it does, that will be negative of the work done by electrical forces. So remember students, two agents are doing work. One is the electric field, other is the person who is taking the charge. Their works will be opposite in sign. The definition is this: it is defined as negative of work done by electrical forces. Now negative of work done by electrical forces we have defined as W external. Instead of this part, negative of work done by electrical forces, instead of minus W electrical, you can also write W external. So this will give you another definition for this potential difference. So potential difference between 2 points may be defined as, this was first definition, so this is your second definition. It may be defined as the work done by external agent against electric field. Now why I write against electric field? It is clear from this particular figure. External agent has to apply a force opposite to the direction of electrical force. It does work against electric field. The rest part is same. In bringing, I am leaving it, so this part will be same, in bringing unit positive charge from one point to the other. So this is the formulation for potential difference between 2 points. Let us see now how much we get. How do we calculate this work? We suppose know the value of electric field at all the points. At this point I have told electric field is in this direction. We move by a small displacement. That small displacement I call it as dr vector. Now if we follow this definition number 1, then this potential difference should be defined as negative of work done by electrical forces, which will be WEL. Work done by electrical forces is supposed WEL. But this WEL is the work done in bringing charge Q from one point to the other. How much charge we have to bring? We have to bring unit positive charge. So for bringing unit positive charge, you will have to do work this much. This is the work for charge Q. For charge Q, if this is the work, for unit charge, we have to divide this value by Q. So this is the answer. This can also be written as positive of W external by Q. Now let's see how do we find that. How do you find work done by electrical forces? First find small work done during this displacement. How do you find work? Work done is force dot displacement. So force dot displacement. Displacement is dr vector. Now which force? Electrical force. Electrical force is FEL vector, and then we have to divide by Q. This is the work done during small displacement dr, but by definition we have to bring the unit positive charge from A to B. So for total work done, we have to integrate it from point A to point B. So this becomes negative integration of now F electrical force. F electrical is how much? Q times E. So put that value. Q times E, the Q and Q will cancel. What will be left is this E dot dr from point A to point B. This is the definition for VB minus VA, that we write as potential difference. So this is the definition for potential difference. You must remember this, students. This particular, you can remember this particular lesson, that VB minus VA is negative of E dot dr from A to B. How did we get this relation? That I have explained over here. Instead of points A and B, if they are points 1 and 2 or R1 and R2, the formula will accordingly change. For example, like this. Suppose we wish to find the potential difference between 2 points. The initial point has position vector Ri vector and the final point has position vector Rf vector. Then, like the previous formula, the potential difference will be defined as negative of work done by electrical forces in bringing unit positive charge from Ri to Rf. So this formula will become minus integration of E dot dr from Ri to Rf. Is it clear, students? One convention we shall use. By convention, potential at a point which is very, very far from charge configurations is taken to be 0. This is usually also called as reference point. It is chosen as a 0. In fact, we should correctly say at a reference point or at infinites, the reference point has been chosen at a very far point from the charge configuration, and that we choose to have 0 potential. It is just a matter of choice. If somebody wishes, they can choose this reference point to have 0 potential to be at some finite distance also. It is just a matter of choice, just as we choose ourselves the origin in case of geometrical problems. Using this convention from potential difference, next we will come over to potential at a point. That means VR. There is some point in space, and with respect to origin it is having a position vector R, and there is some charge configuration Q1, Q2, Q3. They are the charges because of which there is some electric field. We have discussed the potential difference between 2 points. Now we wish to know what is the potential at a particular point. Potential at a particular point VR, now you see, I can write it like this, VR minus 0. It is obvious. If we use this convention, then you can see, students, potential at infinity is taken as 0, Instead of 0, I can write it as V infinity. And that gives the definition. You can write an equation like so for this one. Just as VRF minus VRI is this much, so this becomes minus integration of E vector dot dr vector from initial to final position. Now the initial position is this one. You can see final minus initial, final minus initial. The initial point Ri vector will be replaced by infinity, and the final position vector Rf will be replaced by R. So this gives the definition for potential at a point. Now these two equations form the basic concept in this particular chapter. This is first equation and this is second equation. This equation defines potential difference between 2 points. This is also a part of this equation only. Here we are defining potential at a point assuming potential at infinity to be 0. Using these concepts, let us first try to find potential due to a point charge. There is a point charge Q, and due to this particular point charge, we have to find its potential at some point which is at a distance a from it. So basically, as per concept is concerned, what you have to do? We have to bring a unit positive charge from infinite separation from this particular charge to this point. From infinity to this point, when we bring some unit positive charge of unit value, we will do some work. That work will be equal to potential at this particular point. So that we have already seen how to calculate. So potential at this point, which is at a distance a, can be defined like so. V is equal to, we have defined, minus integration E dot dr from initial point to final point. Initial point is our infinity and final point is R is equal to A, where R is the distance from this point charge. Now at some point, say at a distance R, the value of electric field, you know students, that E vector is given as 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught capital Q upon R square, and its direction is along R vector, where R vector is the line joining the point charge to that particular point for a positive charge, and if the charge is negative, you know E vector will be towards it. Just in this expression, put the value of E. You can see E vector and dr vector, they are in same direction. So I can write it like this: minus E into dr into cos 0 degree from infinity to A is equal to minus E value is 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught Q upon R square, then dr cos 0 is 1, and integrating it from infinity to A. Now this integration can be taken inside. The constant parts we can take them out. So 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught and Q will come out. What is left behind is dr by R square. Now this integration is simple. Its value is minus 1 by R. Limits from infinity to A. So minus 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q times this much. Now this minus and this minus becomes plus, and then we put the value. So we get 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught times Q, 1 by, we'll put R is equal to A and then R is equal to infinity, and 1 by infinity turns out to be 0, and that's why we have potential due to a point charge at distance A. V at R is equal to A is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into Q upon A. Remember, this potential is a scalar quantity and its SI unit, you can guess, potential we have defined it as work done in bringing some charge from one point to the other divided by that charge, because you have to bring unit positive charge. So work has SI unit joule, charge has SI unit coulomb, so we have its SI unit as joule per coulomb. This is the SI unit for potential. This is also called as volt, whose symbol is also V. So remember students, the SI unit for potential is either you can write joule per coulomb or you can write volt. So in this way we can find, remember this particular equation, potential due to a point charge can be found using this particular formula, 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q by a, and because it is scalar it has only associated value, no direction is needed. Okay. Next we would like to discuss that instead of one point charge, if there are many, then how do we calculate potential at a particular point? The answer is simple. The total potential at this point, which I call as P, so V at P will be sum of potentials due to the individual charges. So will be the potential, it will be equal to potential at P due to charge 1 plus potential at P due to charge 2 and so on for all the charges. So this can be written as summation of Vi, where Vi is the potential at this point due to charge Qi. Now if this distance be Ri, then this can be written as summation of 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. I am writing the value of Vi. The value of potential at P due to a point charge Qi is given by which formula? Just now we saw 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught times Qi upon Ri. So this I will run from 1 to n if it has discrete n charges. So this is simply we can say the principle of superposition. While using this formula, remember, take into account signs, sign of charges. If a charge is negative, for example, then that negative value has to be put. So negative charges will produce negative potential, positive charges will produce positive potential. Let us see some example. This is our first example. Here we have a dipole minus q plus q are the charges. Separation is 2a. For the sake of clarity, we have drawn it so very big. Remember, it is a very small dipole. And there is a point which is at a distance r from the center of the dipole. This is center of the dipole. You know, dipole moment vector is directed from minus q to plus q, and it is given as p vector is equal to product of either of the charge into separation between them, and p cap is unit vector directed from the negative charge to the positive charge. So we wish to find potential at this particular point. So I assume this distance to be r1, this distance to be r2. Now theta is the angle between this dipole moment vector and this r vector. These two things are given, r and theta, and of course p vector is also known. Now potential at this point V from principle of superposition will be the potential due to the positive charge, which I write as V plus potential due to the negative charge, which I write as minus q. Now potential formula is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught upon q by r, into q by r. So V plus will be how much? 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into q upon r1, and V minus will be 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught minus q upon r2. So this becomes a 1 by 4 pi epsilon, I can take common, minus q upon r2. Q also I can take common. So it becomes this much. Now this is the principle of superposition, which says potential at this point is equal to sum of potentials due to these two charges. But as I told, we are not given r1 and r2. See students, physics finishes here. The rest is mathematical aptitude. So we have to express r1 and r2 in terms of r, theta and so on. How do we do that? See, if we have right angle triangle, this is A and this is also A. In right angle triangle, we would have written r1 square is equal to r square plus A square. Now you see these two triangles, they are not right angle triangle. So in mathematics, there is a relation for expressing r1 and r2 in terms of r. In this triangle, this is acute, theta is acute. So r1 square is r square plus a square minus something. And in this triangle, r2 square is r square plus a square plus something. You can see this is the longest side, this is shortest side among all of these three sides. So in r1 square there is minus term, in r2 square there is plus term. It is 0 if this angle is 90 degree and non-zero if this angle is other than 90 degree. Now how much we have to minus, subtract or add? That is twice of a dot r, or you can write ar cos theta, and this will be twice of ar cos theta. These are the values for r1 and r2. Now here in r1 square I will take r square common. What will be left? 1 plus a square by r square minus 2ar cos theta upon r square, 2ar cos theta upon r square. Likewise this r square I will take common here in the second expression. How much will be left? 1 plus a square upon r square plus 2ar cos theta upon r square. Now here we are doing this derivation for points which are very far from the dipole. So we will take r very large compared to size of the dipole, that is a. In that case a square by r square can be neglected compared to 1. So I will neglect this one and I will neglect this one. So therefore r1 square is nearly equal to how much? R square times 1 minus 2a cos theta, 1 r will cancel, upon r. And likewise r2 square is nearly equal to how much? R square into 1 plus 2a cos theta upon r. Now in this expression we need r1 and r2. So we have already got r1 square and r2 square. So what we will do next, in the next step, we will take the reciprocal, because I want 1 by r1. So reciprocal of this will be nearly equal to reciprocal of this. So 1 by r square into reciprocal of this, I can write power will be minus 1. Here also we will take the reciprocal. This becomes 1 by r2 square. This becomes 1 by r square, and this power will become minus 1. Now this expression will become nearly equal to 1 by r square into, now we are going to use a tool of binomial expansion. Those students who have not opted for maths, they might have problem in this particular expansion, but just memorize this particular formula. For ready reference you can also see or search binomial expansion. So I am giving you the name here. You search for binomial expansion for 1 plus x to the power n for x very less than 1. I am giving you the ready reference. This is equal to 1 plus nx, nearly equal to, that is the answer. 1 plus power into this much. So this becomes 1 minus power multiplied by that one. What is the power? Minus 1. This minus and this minus will become plus, so 2a cos theta upon r. Likewise this will become 1 by r square minus and plus 1. On multiplication we will get minus 2a cos theta upon r. Please don't bother much about these binomial expansions. Just remember 1 plus x to the power n is nearly equal to 1 plus this multiplied by this. So here we have multiplied minus 1, here we have multiplied minus 1, we have got these results. Now we are ready to find v. So q upon 4 pi epsilon naught. First term is 1 by r1. This is 1 by r1 square. So we will take square root. So if you take square root of this, we will get 1 by r, then square root of this. Oh wait, I forgot to take square root. One more step we will do. Let me write 1 by r1 on taking square root. Actually I should have expanded afterwards. First we will take square root, then we will proceed further. So 1 by r1 will be how much, students? I am doing here itself. So 1 by r1 will become 1 by r, and this is to the power half. Power half means this will become minus half. Here we take the square root, so this becomes R2, this becomes R, and power half, so this will become like so. Now we shall use the binomial expansion, so this becomes 1 by R, 1 minus and minus becomes plus 2a cos theta upon 2R. Is it clear? We are multiplying half minus half, so 2 will cancel. Likewise here how much will we get? 1 by R times 1 minus half into 2a cos theta by R. So again 2 will cancel. Now we have got 1 by R2 and 1 by R1. Put these values in this particular expression. So we will have V is equal to Q upon 4 pi epsilon naught. 1 by R1 I will put as 1 by R into 1 plus a cos theta upon R minus 1 by R2 how much will be? That will be 1 by R times 1 minus a cos theta upon R. So you can take 1 by R common, so it becomes Q upon 4 pi epsilon naught R. Now what is left is 1 plus a cos theta upon R minus 1 minus minus plus a cos theta upon R. So this gives us the value Q upon 4 pi epsilon naught R. 1 cancels, twice of a cos theta upon R. So this implies V is equal to, we can write 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught. This I can write as Q times 2a times cos theta and R square. But Q times 2a you can see that is the magnitude of dipole moment vector. So I can write it as 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught P cos theta upon R square. That is the value of potential due to a dipole at an arbitrary point which is at a distance r from the center, and that r vector, this is our r vector. That r vector makes angle theta with P vector. I can also write this expression like so. V is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught times P cos theta I can write as P vector dot r cap upon R square. You can see students, P dot r cap, A dot B is how much? Magnitude of this, that is P. Magnitude of r cap, that is 1 because it is unit vector, times cos of angle between them. Angle between them is theta. So P into 1 into cos theta is nothing but P cos theta. So remember this formula, students, for potential due to an electric dipole. I will stop here, students, for the first class. So today basically we discussed about potential difference, potential, and we have seen one example of how we can find the electric potential due to an electric dipole. With these concepts in mind, in the next class we shall proceed further to some more problems and the concept of electrical potential energy. Thank you, all the best.